But all right, cool. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the official third episode of Stay Steady TV, the LLL series. My name is Matt. This is my co-host Jackson, and welcome, dude. Welcome. Today we had in mind for topic Q&A. Got a couple questions I'm gonna run by you guys, and Jackson and I are gonna talk about our answers, our interpretation of the question, and pretty much what it means to us. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with the first one. Oh, and by
Go
the
with
way,
it.
if that was an invitation, though, man. We got to clarify for people, man. You guys have to answer the questions. Well, you don't have to, obviously, but we'd encourage you to. You know what I mean? Okay, so the first one, um, this is this is related to the app model I've been working on, just to kind of voice everything for the people who don't know, for more clarity. Um, this is also going to give us a deeper understanding of our target market and the things that certain users are looking for when it comes to engagement with the app. Um, so the first question would be, if you had two words placed in front of you, A, the first word being trauma, and then B, the second word being triumph, um, which sparks a memory first? So which one of those words spark a memory first, right? So for me, it would be trauma, right? And I mean, it would be interesting to hear people's reasons on it. I mean, I definitely want to hear yours, bro. But I mean, for me, it's like trauma's played more of a, I guess, like an underlying role in my life, and probably a bigger role in my moments of triumph than I've led myself to realize it a lot of times. Um, and I really don't feel like my moments of triumph would be as profound without those points of trauma. So, what would you say?
I mean, I feel like the points of trauma, they're not as profound as the points of triumph, even if it doesn't seem like it, because getting past those is such an accomplishment. And I think naturally when
Right,
you hear those two words, you're going to think trauma first, because people
right.
usually carry that with you, unless you have like a recent triumph, maybe it's like, top of your head. But with what you go through in life, I mean, trauma's very relatable for a lot of people, especially people who may be connecting with us right now.
It's good perspective. So, what would your answer be, though? Okay, so
I think
now,
trauma
so
for
so it's
sure.
now, but keep in mind the wording of the questions are pretty specific, right? So it's not which word you know you focus on more, but it's which word sparks a memory, right? So it's like you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I
Like
mean,
so when you hear those
trauma
two words,
comes to
you think of
mind, bro, because you think
right,
of that memory, but in the same
right.
sentence, you hear the word triumph, like that's a powerful word for
It's
somebody who's
super,
trying to,
yeah,
improve themselves. So
absolutely. Yeah,
that's a good question.
yeah. So yeah, definitely enter your. Well, I mean, we should probably put this in the description too. Probably these questions. I mean, I'll send them to you too, but okay, and then these next few questions, well, the next two are just yes or no's, and then essentially what I want to do is I want to gather a tally for these two questions, and then the first and then the last question will be pretty much an either or type of answer, but they all tie into each other. So the next question is pretty straightforward. Kind of sounds cliche, but do you believe you're capable of greatness? Right. So definitely an audience type question, but it's at you, bro.
You want me to answer yes or no?
Absolutely, man.
You know it's a
Absolutely.
yes.
I mean, yeah, 100%,
I always know I'm
100%.
capable.
Without a doubt, without a doubt. Um, and number three, so the segue into this one is, if you answered yes to number two, do you believe you're living up to that standard? And if you answered no to number two, do you believe you can do more with your life than you are currently doing? If the answer is yes, in turn to that question, then and it was no to the first one, the first part of this question, or if it was no to question number two, then you're undervaluing yourself and your abilities. So re-answer number two. I know that kind of got confusing, but um, so yeah. So do you believe you're living up to that standard?
Absolutely not.
Right. I
Not
mean,
that that's a
it,
bad
but
thing, but
it's an exciting thing, though. You know
it
what I
can
mean?
always be more. And I think that's, something you come to acceptance with, and there's nothing wrong with that. You could be doing
Right.
great right now, and that's exciting, and you celebrate that. But doing great right now should, set you up because now like your ceiling's higher for tomorrow. And that's what it's about.
Exactly. And it's not about complacency. It's just about being able to recognize that there's so much more to be doing with your life than just remaining stagnant. You know what I'm saying? So, hence my current situation. This is awesome, bro. So, just a great thing to capitalize on right now. Let me see. Oh yeah, this dude. I'm really curious to what people have to say to this one, right? Because this question right here, and I'm curious what you have to say too, bro. But like, I mean, we're best friends, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. Pretty much, I kind of have like an idea of how you're gonna answer some of these.
Okay.
But this one is: do you consider it more difficult to trust A, yourself, or B, others? Now, think before giving a quick response. This is what I want to encourage viewers to like really take a moment on. You know what I'm saying? Because it there's more than what meets the ear with that question, right? So it's like, do you consider it more difficult to trust A, yourself, or B, others? I mean, sit on it. I'm more stoked about like how this is gonna like unravel into the my motivator idea and the app and really the whole concept of what we're gonna create here for users. It just it's exciting, bro. You know what I'm saying?
It
So,
is. That's a good question. I'm excited to see what people have to say about that. You said you know my answer. What do you think?
uh, I'd say others, bro.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And part of that's
like
a
initially,
confidence thing too, like with myself. Like, obviously, I don't trust I'm always going to make the right decision, but I always trust myself in the moment. I like to
right?
think things through, and as you get older and you grow, you fail a few times, but as of right now,
Absolutely.
where I'm at, of course, I trust myself. But other people, it's not so easy, especially when you've been burned. But you can never
Now,
really
if you
close that door because if you can't trust nobody, I mean,
right,
that's going to be a lonely life. I wouldn't have met you if I wasn't open
right.
to connection because when I met you, I felt the same way about trusting others. But you,
I
you
mean,
got to
we
give it a
hit it off
shot.
though, bro. I mean,
We
we hit
did.
it off the rip. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just at peaks, dude. Just the alumni house. I mean, just like the whole experience of just being able to even. I mean, I know we weren't at the alumni house together, really, but we shared experiences there, bro. Just good memories, bro. All around. If you were asked that same question, though, I'm curious, man. Like 5, 10 years ago, your answer would have been different, right? I know mine would have, for sure. Like reminiscing and everything uh, I've been through tribulation wise. I definitely would have answered yourself or myself being uh, the more difficult of the two to trust. You know what I'm saying?
I think 5 to 10 years ago, I probably would have said the same thing, but it would have been an uninformed decision,
Right,
I guess.
exactly. We wouldn't have understood like
Yeah, exactly.
the yeah, yeah, right. So yeah, yeah, go ahead, bro. I don't want to bounce off, but I got I got a couple more. We just wait on that, and
These are good, bro. Let's just go through it. I got no questions lined up, so what you got is probably
when you
it.
stop lying, dude. You got something lined up.
I mean, I got maybe a couple talking points, but we can do that
Yeah,
at the
man.
end.
Yeah, touch on those. Well, I mean, before you do that though, man, because we got 10 minutes. I definitely want to uh, like even it out. You know what I'm saying? But for question four, this is what I wrote down, and this is, I guess, the best way I summed it up for myself. Be interestingly enough, based off of what we aim to accomplish, better yet, help others to accomplish. Both answers hold identical meanings based on perception. So, yeah, um, that's a lot to break down. I kind of set myself up for that one. So, okay, so pretty much, how do I explain this without getting ahead of myself? So, okay, so if someone were to answer A, yourself, right? So, or themselves, myself. being the more difficult of the two to trust. Okay. Now with the app, the ideal goal is to duplicate a trustworthy version of your best self for you to communicate with and be able to lean on, as far as, like I said in the last episode, an accountability buddy. And we're we're trying to construct something that's easier to trust, that is realistic to a person, but also not too far off from that person's self. You know what I mean? Like, I don't. It's really a difficult thing to grasp. I don't know if some people could kind of see where I'm going with this, but basically, if I could clone myself, you know what I mean, and then, like, not exactly acknowledge the fact that, like, okay, myself is myself. You know what I mean? Am I still having a harder time trusting myself or others? You know what I'm saying? Does that you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I get it for sure. I mean, so you make
And it,
this AI representation of yourself, like, and it's
right.
for anybody. It's for the everyday, like, nine to five worker. It's for someone who's struggling, someone who's doing good, but just wants that whisper in their ear of like, like what's the next step, to grow and stuff. But
100%.
yeah, I guess where I was trying to go with it, you create this AI model, and if you can get to a place of trust, which I think is pretty easy to grasp, if it's really, understandable of what it can do for you. I
Right.
mean, it's huge because, saying what's more difficult, can I trust myself or trusting others? Like, that's a question. But if you ask the same person, what's more important, trusting yourself or trusting others? That's a no-brainer. Trusting yourself is such a critical part of
See,
growth.
that's the type of stuff there, man. Look, that right there hit a really good aspect of this on the head, dude. And you know what I mean. And in some ways, we look at something like that, kind of like a paradox. But the way you outlined that right now was just on point. So it's like, what we could help people understand is kind of that concept and what we're diving into and what we aim to accomplish with this development, man. It's really something that has to stem from personal experience. I mean, it couldn't stem from anything other than what's genuine. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, bro. Um, whatever few talking points you had, man, shoot it.
That's all your questions.
Oh yeah, I got a couple more, man. But I mean,
We could
I'll
always save those if you want.
yeah, we'll save them, dude. We'll save them.
Yeah. I mean, I got some talking points probably for the next one, but in terms of like the personalization that we were just talking about, I mean,
Yeah,
that's huge for these motivational apps and stuff. I mean, I was reading a stat that like 70% of all motivation and growth apps, like, people download, only 20% stick with. And even that seems high. And a lot of that's because it's not personalized, If it's a video game or something, you make it your
exactly.
own, you're invested in it. And if this is going to be the ultimate form of personalization, that's something special about the whole product.
I mean, for sure. I mean, dude, come on, bro. Look, I'm grateful for, like,
Okay.
the look. You know, it's just it's funny because there's a lot of irony in, like, the way you just carry yourself, bro. And you know what I mean? It's like years of knowing you, dude. It's just interesting because you're modest, but you don't really realize a lot of the things you bring to the table, man. And those those points you made, just the one about, the paradox and the way flipping the question, and then, that what you just touched on right now. I mean, those two things are extremely valuable in what we're working toward, and then they're extremely valuable in, the explanatory side of what we're uh, breaking down for our audience. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, um, damn, bro. It's good stuff.